So since most of the stuff we're going to be getting for our home lab setup is from a thrift store or secondhand in general, we need to be able to test it. So to do that, we're actually going to require a few things, which is going to be kind of things that most people don't think about, like a monitor, a mouse, or in most cases, you're going to need a keyboard. And you want one that is reliable, usually not a gaming keyboard, because sometimes those can cause problems when you're trying to diagnose issues. So the main issue with this is, how do you make sure that these are actually working as well? And I just so happened to get a sponsor over on TikTok that actually is helping me out with this. And they sent me this thing that is making sure I can actually check all of these a lot easier. This is a Type-C hub. So this thing has 3 USB inputs. It also has SD cards, but most importantly, it has an HDMI out. So I can plug this thing into my phone and be able to test monitors like this one, and also test the mice and keyboards. I am so glad that they sent this over right when they did, because I was actually looking to buy a new one of these because I can't find my old one. Because we have that now, we can go to thrift stores and actually test in person while we're there to make sure the screens, keyboards, everything like that that we want to pick up actually work. That's actually how I got this one right here, is I went to the nearby thrift store and went through all of their screens to see which ones I actually would want to use. Usually when I'm looking at screens, I'm looking for a few different things. I want to have multiple different types of inputs, so usually VGA and DVI is most commonly what you're going to find right now, as well as also looking to make sure it uses a normal power cable. I don't want to use an external brick because usually you can't find the external brick for a screen, and I don't want to have to go digging around online to order one. So this one just happened to be perfect because it already came with the VGA cable and the power cable for it. So I knew both of those were what it normally used. While I was there, I plugged it into my phone, into the dock, and had an adapter so I could go from HDMI to VGA. There I could actually see my phone go, oh, we have a screen, and it popped up on the screen showing me that everything was working properly. This can also help you make sure that a screen doesn't have weird glitches or weird damage like some of the screens I've come across. This really helps out so much when you're trying to buy thrifted items to use in a home lab setup to get yourself started. It's also an easy way to test a mouse and a keyboard. For a mouse, it's pretty easy. You can know when it's left clicking and right clicking. Scrolling isn't really necessary, but you can also test the scroll wheel if you're using it connected to a phone. A keyboard, just pull up a notepad and start typing and see which keys are working and which ones aren't. That way, if you see a few keys that aren't working, you know to go with a different keyboard because you don't know if the function keys are working as well. And those can be a little bit harder to test depending on what type of phone or device you're using. I want to take a quick second to thank AorZ for sending over their Type-C hub. This thing is a lifesaver. It's now part of my camera bag, so I can use my phone as a full computer when filming videos for this channel. They sent it over for me to test and had perfect timing for me to be able to film this video. If you have a Samsung phone, a hub is a must to get the full capabilities from your phone. Thanks again to AorZ for making this video possible. So now that we have a screen, keyboard, and mouse, we can start testing the computers. And for that, we're going to need a USB drive. You don't really need much out of a USB drive, at least 8 gigs. If you want to go with something bigger like 16 or 32, then you can put more tools on it at the same time, so you don't have to keep refreshing the drive and installing new stuff each time. The main tool we're actually going to be using, and I'm going to show you guys how to use this in the next video, is Hiren's Boot CD. This is a phenomenal tool. And so if you're able to get a drive ready with that and start practicing with some of the tools in there, you'll already be ahead of what we're going to be doing next. Because of Hiren's Boot CD, we'll be able to test these devices and see what work will need to be done on them to get them ready for our home labs. Along with showing you guys how Hiren's Boot CD works and how we're going to be using it to test these things, I'm also going to be breaking down what we need each of these devices to be able to do to properly accommodate the different operating systems that they're going to be running. I hope you guys will be able to follow along and keep up with us as we're doing this, because I am trying to make sure you guys can make a home lab so that as we do more projects in the future, you have a basis and a base knowledge to work off of. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to follow along, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm also over on TikTok showing off some of the random stuff that I've been doing throughout the week. as well as showing off how much it took to get this set up to actually work, so that I could show you how I build these things, how I get my own home lab up and running, and how I use older devices to do some of the things that I need. If you didn't know, we also have a Discord where we actually talk about a lot of this stuff and go over what I'm working on and show off some of the cool tech that we're finding along the way. Links for both the TikTok and the Discord server are going to be in the description below, so go ahead and join us and take and tell us what you guys think.